My precious child, I am tearing down every single obstacle that has been standing in opposition to your blessing. Every wall that the enemy has built to block your path. Every chain that has been wrapped around your dreams. Every barrier that has kept you from stepping into the fullness of what I have prepared for you is being demolished by my hand right now. This is not something that will happen eventually. This is not a distant promise floating somewhere in an uncertain future. This is a decree that has already been issued in the courts of heaven, and its execution has already begun in the spiritual realm. The doors that were shut against you are being torn from their hinges. The locks that kept you out are being shattered. The gates that seemed immovable are being thrown open with such force that no power in heaven or earth or beneath the earth will ever be able to close them again. You have been waiting for this moment longer than you realize. There have been seasons when you walked toward your purpose only to find the way blocked. You prayed, you believed, you took steps of faith. But every time you reached out to grasp what I had shown you in your spirit, something stood in the way. People disappointed you. Circumstances shifted against you. Resources dried up just when you needed them most. Doors that seemed certain to open remained locked. Opportunities that looked promising crumbled at the last moment. And in the quiet hours when you were alone with your thoughts, you began to wonder if you had heard me correctly. You began to question whether the vision I planted in your heart was real or just wishful thinking. You began to fear that maybe, just maybe, the blessing was meant for someone else and not for you. But I need you to understand something that will change everything about how you see this season. Those obstacles were never proof that I had abandoned you. Those closed doors were never evidence that I had changed my mind about your destiny. Those delays were never signs that you had disqualified yourself through your mistakes or your weaknesses. Every single barrier that stood between you and your breakthrough was part of a divine strategy that you could not see from where you were standing. I was not blocking you. I was protecting you. I was not withholding from you. I was preparing you. I was not testing your patience to see if you would give up. I was building something inside you that would be strong enough to carry the weight of what I was about to release into your hands. There is a process that happens in the unseen realm before breakthroughs manifest in the visible world. Battles are fought that you never witness. Arrangements are made that you never hear about. Enemies are repositioned. Allies are strategically placed. Resources are gathered and held in reserve until the precise moment when you will need them. Timing is calibrated with precision that human minds cannot comprehend. I do not work with the frantic urgency of people who are trying to make things happen through their own effort. I work with the calm certainty of a God who sees the end from the beginning and knows exactly when every piece needs to fall into place. You have been in a season of preparation, though it felt like a season of stagnation. You thought you were being held back, but you were being held steady. You thought you were stuck, but you were being strengthened. You thought you were forgotten, but you were being fashioned into the exact shape required to fit through the door I was preparing to open for you. If I had given you what you were asking for when you first started asking for it, you would not have been ready. The blessing would have crushed you instead of carried you. The opportunity would have exposed your weaknesses instead of showcasing your strengths. The provision would have been wasted instead of multiplied. I loved you too much to give you something prematurely that would have hurt you instead of helped you. But something has shifted. In the realm where decisions are made that determine the course of human events, a verdict has been rendered concerning your life. The season of waiting is over. The season of preparation has reached its completion. The process of strengthening has accomplished its purpose. You are ready now in ways you were not ready before. Your faith has been tested and proven genuine. Your character has been refined through the fire of adversity. Your dependence on me has deepened through the experience of discovering that your own strength was not sufficient. Your understanding of my nature has matured through the long months of trusting me when you could not see what I was doing behind the scenes. And now the obstacles that were strategically allowed to remain in place during your season of preparation are being demolished. Not because they suddenly became weak, not because circumstances randomly shifted in your favor, not because you finally figured out the right formula or prayed the right prayer or reached some invisible threshold of worthiness. These obstacles are being torn down because I have decreed that it is time for your breakthrough. And when I speak, creation rearranges itself to align with my word. Let me tell you what is happening right now while you are hearing these words. In the spiritual realm, there are forces that have been working against your progress. They have studied you. They have watched your patterns. They have identified your weaknesses and your fears. They have exploited every area where your faith wavered and every moment when your hope dimmed. They have whispered lies into your thoughts and arranged circumstances to make those lies seem true. They have worked tirelessly to convince you that you were forgotten, that your prayers were unheard, that your efforts were futile, that your dreams were foolish, that your situation was permanent. But they made a critical mistake. They forgot who your Father is. They forgot that you belong to me. They forgot that I do not abandon my children in their darkest valleys. They forgot that I do not start something in a life and then walk away before it is finished. They forgot that my promises are not conditional upon your perfection, but anchored in my faithfulness. They forgot that the battles they thought they were winning were actually positioning them for the moment when I would demonstrate my power on your behalf in a way that would leave no doubt about who fights for you. That moment has arrived. I am not politely asking these obstacles to move. I am not negotiating with the forces that have opposed you. I am not waiting for permission or approval from any authority in heaven or earth. I am exercising my sovereign right as your Creator and your Father to tear down every barrier that has kept you from walking into the fullness of your inheritance. And when I tear something down, it does not gradually crumble over time. It collapses completely and immediately. Remember Joshua at Jericho. Those walls were massive, impenetrable by any human standard. But I did not ask him to lay siege. I asked him to walk around the city for 7 days. When the people shouted on the 7th day, those walls collapsed in an instant. Not because of acoustic vibrations or religious activity, but because I said they would fall. And my word accomplishes everything I send it to accomplish. You have been walking around your Jericho. You have been faithful even when faithfulness seemed foolish. And now I am telling you to shout, because the walls are coming down, the obstacles are collapsing, and you are about to walk into territory that was closed to you just yesterday. What does this mean in practical terms? It means that situations which seemed permanent are about to shift suddenly. Relationships that appeared broken beyond repair are about to experience supernatural reconciliation. Financial limitations that have constrained you for years are about to be shattered by provision that comes from directions you were not even looking. Health conditions that have plagued your body are about to bow to my healing power. Mental and emotional prisons that have held you captive to fear and anxiety and depression are about to be unlocked. Doors in your career that have been shut are about to swing open. Opportunities that passed you by in the past are about to circle back around in a new form. People who can help you advance towards your purpose are about to cross your path. Favor that you did not earn and cannot explain is about to follow you everywhere you go. But I need you to understand something crucial about breakthroughs. When obstacles are demolished and doors are opened, you still have to walk through them. I will tear down the walls, but you have to enter the territory. I will open the doors, but you have to step across the threshold. I will provide the opportunity, but you have to seize it. This is not because I enjoy watching you struggle, or because I want to see if you are brave enough. This is because the act of stepping forward in faith, even when fear is screaming at you to stay where you are safe, is part of how you grow into the person who can steward the blessing I am releasing. You have spent seasons praying for breakthrough, and that is good, but now is the season for action that corresponds with your prayers. Now is the season to move with courage toward the open doors. Now is the season to prepare yourself practically for what you have been praying for spiritually. If you have been praying for a better job, make sure your resume is ready. If you have been praying for restored relationships, be willing to have the difficult conversations. If you have been praying for financial breakthrough, be ready to manage the increase with wisdom. If you have been praying for healing, be willing to change the habits that have been damaging your health. Faith is not passive. Faith is not sitting back and waiting for me to do everything while you do nothing. Faith is the confident expectation that what I have promised will come to pass, combined with the willingness to act as if it is already true. Faith is seeing the invisible and treating it as more real than the visible. Faith is hearing my word and aligning your behavior with what I have said, even before you see any evidence in the natural realm. I am about to open doors for you that will require courage to walk through. Some of these doors will lead you into rooms where you feel unqualified and out of place. You will be surrounded by people who seem more talented, more experienced, more connected, more confident than you are. And in those moments, you will be tempted to shrink back, to apologize for your presence, to downplay your gifts, to retreat to what is familiar and comfortable. But I need you to resist that temptation. I need you to remember that I do not make mistakes. If I opened the door and invited you into that room, it is because you belong there. Not because you are better than anyone else, but because I have something for you to receive in that space, and something for you to contribute to that environment. There will also be doors that lead you into situations where you will be tested. You will face new challenges that expose areas where you still need to grow. You will encounter new levels of spiritual warfare as the enemy tries to discourage you from occupying the territory I have opened up for you. You will experience new pressures that come with new levels of responsibility. And in those moments, you will be tempted to look back at where you came from and wonder if breakthrough was worth the cost. You will be tempted to retreat to the familiar struggles of your past, because at least you knew how to survive there. But I need you to push through those moments of doubt and discomfort. I need you to remember that every level of blessing comes with a corresponding level of challenge, and I would not have brought you into this new season if I did not already know that you have what it takes to thrive here. The struggles you face in your new territory are not evidence that you made a mistake by walking through the open door. They are evidence that you are actually making progress, and the enemy is fighting harder because he knows what you are becoming. There is something I want to address directly because I know it has been a source of confusion and pain for you. You have watched other people receive breakthroughs that seem to come easily while you have fought and struggled and waited and wondered why your journey has been so difficult. You have seen people who do not even acknowledge me walking in blessings that you have been praying for desperately. You have seen people who are not faithful, not committed, not sincere, not seeking my face, and yet they seem to prosper while you have been faithful, and the breakthrough has been delayed. This is what I need you to understand. I do not operate on a system of fairness that compares your journey to someone else's journey. I operate on a system of purpose that is uniquely designed for your destiny. The blessings I give to other people are not the blessings that were meant for you. The timing that works for their story is not the timing that works for yours. The path they walk is not the path I have laid out for you. If I gave you their blessing at their timing in their way, it would not fit your life. It would not accomplish my purpose. It would not prepare you for what I am preparing you for. You are not in competition with anyone else. You are not running a race where the goal is to cross the finish line before other people cross theirs. You are walking a unique journey that I designed specifically for you before you were born, and every delay, every obstacle, every challenge, every closed door was woven into that design with intention and precision. Nothing has been random. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been a mistake. And now, in this season, as I tear down the obstacles that have served their purpose in your preparation, I am not giving you someone else's breakthrough. I am giving you your breakthrough, the one I planned for you, the one I prepared for you, the one that fits your life perfectly, the one that will launch you into the next chapter of your story with everything you need to succeed. So stop comparing your journey to anyone else's journey. Stop measuring your progress against someone else's timeline. Stop feeling bitter or jealous or discouraged because you perceive that someone else got what you deserved. That perception is false. What they received was designed for them. What you are about to receive is designed for you. And when it comes, you will look back and realize that the wait was worth it. The struggle had a purpose. The pain produced something beautiful. And my timing was perfect. Let me speak to another area that I know has been troubling your heart. You have been carrying guilt and shame about your past mistakes. You have been replaying your failures in your mind and convincing yourself that those failures disqualified you from receiving the breakthrough you have been praying for. You have been listening to a voice that tells you that you do not deserve good things, because of the bad choices you have made. You have been punishing yourself internally and assuming that I must be punishing you externally by withholding blessing until you somehow earn it back through enough tears, or enough repentance, or enough good behavior. But that is not how I work. That is not who I am. That is not the nature of my love for you. I do not hold your past against you. I do not keep a record of wrongs that I use to determine whether you deserve blessing or judgment. I do not operate on a performance-based system where you have to be perfect in order to receive my favor. If that were the case, no one would ever receive anything from me, because there is not a single person who has ever lived who has been perfect except my son Jesus. The entire reason I sent Jesus was to deal with your past once and for all. His blood was not a partial payment that covers some sins but not others. His sacrifice was not a down payment that requires you to make monthly installments through your good behavior. His death and resurrection were complete, finished, sufficient. When he said on the cross that it is finished, he meant it. The debt was paid. The penalty was satisfied. The separation was ended. The barrier between you and me was demolished. So when I look at you, I do not see your past failures. I see his finished work. I do not see your disqualifications. I see your redemption. I do not see your shame. I see your restoration. I do not see reasons to withhold blessing. I see reasons to pour out blessing in ways that will demonstrate to you and everyone watching your life that my love is not earned, it is given, and my grace is not conditional, it is extravagant. This breakthrough that is coming is not a reward for your perfection. It is a demonstration of my faithfulness. It is proof that my promises are not dependent on your worthiness, but anchored in my character. It is evidence that I finish what I start, that I do not abandon my children, that I do not change my mind about the plans I have for your life just because you stumbled along the way. So release the guilt, release the shame, release the belief that you have to somehow earn what I am freely giving. Receive this breakthrough as a gift from a Father who loves you, who has always loved you, who will always love you, and whose love is not diminished by your failures or increased by your successes. My love for you is constant, complete, and unconditional. And everything I do in your life flows from that love. Now let me tell you what to expect as these obstacles come down and these doors open. You are going to experience moments of overwhelming gratitude. There will be days when you look around at your life and you will be stunned by how different everything is compared to where you were. You will remember the times when you cried yourself to sleep, wondering if things would ever change. You will remember the days when you dragged yourself through yet another difficult stretch, feeling like nothing was ever going to get better. You will remember the seasons when you felt forgotten, overlooked, abandoned. And then you will look at where you are now, and you will be flooded with thankfulness that I never let go of you, even when you were tempted to let go of me. In those moments of gratitude, I want you to do something specific. I want you to speak your testimony out loud. Tell someone what I have done. Write it down so you do not forget. Create reminders that will keep the memory alive. Because here is what happens in the human heart. When breakthrough comes and life gets better, there is a tendency to forget what it was like before. There is a tendency to take blessings for granted. There is a tendency to start attributing success to your own effort instead of my grace. There is a tendency to stop seeking me as desperately because the pain that drove you to your knees is no longer pressing down on you. And I do not want that to happen in your life. I do not want you to receive the breakthrough and then drift away from me because you no longer feel the urgency of need. I want this breakthrough to deepen your relationship with me, not replace it. I want you to walk through the open doors with gratitude that keeps you humble. I want you to steward the blessing with wisdom that keeps you dependent. I want you to remember where you came from so you never take for granted where you are going. You will also experience moments of fear. This is normal. This is expected. This is not a sign that something is wrong. When you have lived in confinement for a long time, freedom can feel dangerous. When you have adjusted to lack, abundance can feel overwhelming. When you have become familiar with closed doors, open doors can trigger anxiety about whether you are capable of walking through them. When you have defined yourself by your struggles, breakthrough can create an identity crisis because you are not sure who you are without the pain that shaped you. In those moments of fear, I need you to choose courage anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting in alignment with my word, even while fear is present. Courage is walking through the open door, even though your hands are shaking. Courage is accepting the blessing, even though you feel unworthy. Courage is stepping into the new season, even though you are not sure you are ready. Courage is trusting that if I open the door, then I will also give you everything you need to thrive on the other side of it. And here's what I will do for you when you choose courage. I will meet you in your fear. I will steady your trembling hands. I will calm your racing heart. I will speak peace to your anxious mind. I will send people alongside you who will encourage you and support you and remind you that you are not alone. I will orchestrate circumstances that confirm you are on the right path. I will provide wisdom that shows you the next step when you cannot see the entire journey. I will be with you every single moment of every single day, and you will discover that the fear that seemed so overwhelming in anticipation is actually manageable in reality when you are walking through it with me. There will also be moments when you will be tested in your character. Breakthrough brings exposure. When you move into new levels, you become visible to people who did not notice you before. You will receive attention, affirmation, opportunities, resources. And with all of that will come temptations. Temptations to compromise your integrity for faster advancement. Temptations to take credit for things that were my doing and not yours. Temptations to use your new platform for selfish gain instead of service to others. Temptations to forget the people who helped you when you were struggling, now that you do not need them anymore. I need you to pass these tests. I need you to remain humble when you are elevated. I need you to remain generous when you have plenty. I need you to remain faithful when faithfulness is no longer required for survival, but is simply an expression of who you have become. I need you to remember that this breakthrough is not just about you. It is about what I want to do through you for others who are still walking through their seasons of preparation. You see, the reason I am tearing down obstacles in your life is not just so you can be comfortable. It is not just so you can finally relax and enjoy life after all the struggles you have endured. It is not just so you can prove wrong all the people who doubted you. Those may be side effects of your breakthrough, but they are not the primary purpose. The primary purpose is this: I am opening doors for you so you can become a doorway for others. I am blessing you so you can be a blessing. I am providing for you so you can be generous to those who are in need. I am healing you so you can bring comfort to those who are hurting. I am delivering you so you can help set captives free. I am strengthening you so you can support those who are weak. I am teaching you so you can become a teacher. I am raising you up so you can reach back and pull others up with you. Your breakthrough is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of your assignment. And everything you walked through during your season of preparation was equipping you for that assignment. The pain taught you compassion. The lack taught you generosity. The closed doors taught you perseverance. The disappointments taught you resilience. The loneliness taught you to seek me. The struggles taught you to depend on me. And now, as the obstacles come down and the doors open and the breakthrough manifests, all of those lessons are going to be put to use as I send people across your path who need exactly what you have learned. So receive this breakthrough with a servant's heart. Receive it with humility. Receive it with the understanding that to whom much is given, much is required. Receive it with the determination that you will steward it well, not waste it on trivial pursuits. Receive it with the commitment that you will honor me in your success just as faithfully as you sought me in your struggle. Let me speak to you about the doors that are opening. Some of them are doors you have been staring at for years, praying that they would open, begging me to let you through. And now, finally, they are opening. When you walk through those doors, you are going to feel vindicated. You are going to feel like all the waiting was worth it. You're going to feel like you were right to keep believing even when belief seemed foolish. But there are other doors opening that you did not even know existed. These are doors to opportunities you never thought to pray for, blessings you never imagined, connections you never expected, provision from sources you never considered. These doors are going to surprise you. They are going to exceed your expectations. They are going to show you that my plans for you are bigger than your plans for yourself, and my dreams for your life are more expansive than your dreams. When these unexpected doors open, do not hesitate. Do not second guess. Do not talk yourself out of walking through them because they do not match the picture you had in your mind of what breakthrough would look like. My ways are higher than your ways. My thoughts are higher than your thoughts. I see things you cannot see. I know things you do not know. I understand how all the pieces of your life fit together in ways you will not fully comprehend until you are looking back from the other side of this season. So when I open a door that surprises you, trust me. Walk through it. Explore what is on the other side. Give me permission to exceed your expectations. Give me freedom to bless you in ways you did not know to ask for. Give me space to show you that I am able to do immeasurably more than all you could ask or imagine, according to my power that is at work within you. I also want to prepare you for something that might catch you off guard. When obstacles come down and doors open and breakthrough manifests, not everyone around you is going to celebrate. Some people have grown comfortable with you being in a season of struggle. Some people have defined their relationship with you based on your need for their help. Some people have felt superior to you because they perceived that they were more blessed or more favored or more successful than you. And when your situation changes, when you rise, when you step into your breakthrough, those people are going to feel uncomfortable. Some of them will express that discomfort through jealousy. They will minimize your breakthrough, find flaws in your blessing, remind you of your past failures, or predict that your success will not last. Some of them will distance themselves from you because they do not know how to relate to you now that you are no longer in crisis. Some of them will even become hostile, spreading rumors, undermining your credibility, trying to sabotage your opportunities. When this happens, and it will happen, do not be surprised. Do not be shaken. Do not waste your energy trying to convince people to celebrate you who are determined to criticize you. Do not shrink back from your breakthrough just to make insecure people feel more comfortable. Do not apologize for the blessing I have given you. Do not dim your light just because someone else is bothered by the brightness. Instead, respond with grace. Respond with kindness. Respond with the secure confidence of someone who knows that your breakthrough did not come from human approval and therefore cannot be taken away by human disapproval. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who persecute you. Release those who cannot celebrate with you, and make space for the new relationships I am bringing into your life with people who will encourage you, support you, and sharpen you as you walk into everything I have for you. Here's what you need to know about the obstacles I am tearing down. They have not been tearing themselves down gradually over time as you grew stronger. They have been standing firm, solid, immovable, until now. And the reason they are coming down now is not because you finally reached some threshold of readiness or worthiness. They are coming down now because I have decreed that the season has shifted, and when I speak a decree over your life, everything in heaven and earth and beneath the earth must align itself with that decree. The forces that have opposed you have not suddenly decided to leave you alone. They have been forcibly removed by my command. The circumstances that have constrained you have not randomly improved. They have been sovereignly rearranged by my hand. The people who have blocked your path have not coincidentally stepped aside. They have been repositioned by my authority. This is not luck. This is not karma. This is not the universe finally giving you what you deserve. This is your Father in heaven, exercising his power on behalf of his child whom he loves. And I need you to recognize that, to acknowledge that, to give me the glory for that. Because when you understand that this breakthrough is my doing and not yours, it keeps you humble. It keeps you grateful. It keeps you dependent on me. It protects you from the pride that comes when you start believing that you accomplish something through your own strength. It guards your heart against the arrogance that leads to downfall. At the same time, I do not want you to think that you played no role in this breakthrough. You did. Your faithfulness mattered. Your perseverance mattered. Your refusal to give up mattered. Your decision to keep trusting me even when trust was hard mattered. Your commitment to stay in relationship with me even when you were angry or confused or disappointed mattered. Your willingness to be refined through the fire of adversity mattered. I am tearing down the obstacles because the season has shifted, but you are ready to walk through the open doors because you cooperated with the preparation process. You did not quit. You did not harden your heart. You did not turn away from me in bitterness. You stayed. You wrestled. You questioned. You struggled. But through it all, you stayed. And that staying positioned you to receive what I am now releasing. So receive this breakthrough with the knowledge that it is both gift and reward. It is a gift because you could never earn it. It is a reward because your faithfulness was not in vain. It is grace because it flows from my love for you. It is also fruit because you sowed seeds of obedience and perseverance, and now you are reaping a harvest. As the doors open and you step into new territory, you are going to need wisdom. You are going to face decisions that you have never had to make before. You are going to navigate situations that are unfamiliar. You are going to interact with people who operate at levels you have not operated at. You are going to manage resources that you have not managed before. And in all of this, you are going to need my guidance. So do not make the mistake of thinking that, because the obstacles are down and the doors are open, you no longer need to seek me as intensely as you did before. You need me now more than ever. Not because you are in crisis, but because you are in transition. Not because you are desperate, but because you are being entrusted with more. Not because you are weak, but because you are stepping into a dimension of responsibility that requires a deeper level of wisdom than you currently possess. Make time for me in this new season. Guard that time fiercely. Do not let your schedule become so full of opportunities that you lose the intimacy that sustained you through your struggles. Do not replace prayer with productivity. Do not sacrifice communion with me on the altar of your calling. Your calling flows from your connection with me. Your assignment is an overflow of your relationship with me. If you disconnect from the source, the assignment will drain you instead of fulfilling you. I am giving you this breakthrough, but I am also inviting you into deeper places with me. I am opening doors, but I am also opening my heart. I am providing what you need for your journey, but I am also offering you more of myself. And if you will receive both the blessing and the invitation, if you will walk through the doors while also drawing closer to me, you will discover that the breakthrough is not the best part. The best part is knowing me more intimately, experiencing my love more deeply, understanding my heart more clearly. Let me tell you something about the harvest that is coming. You have been in a season of drought, a season where you sowed seeds with tears, where you worked the ground with aching hands, where you watched the sky day after day hoping for rain that seemed like it would never come. The heat of that season was intense. It burned. It exhausted you. There were moments when you looked at the dry, cracked soil of your circumstances and wondered if anything you planted would ever grow. There were moments when you questioned whether you were wasting your time, pouring your energy and your faith into ground that seemed incapable of producing anything. But what you could not see during that season of drought was what was happening beneath the surface. While you were looking at the dry ground and seeing only barrenness, roots were growing deeper. While you were feeling the heat and thinking nothing could survive in these conditions, the seeds you planted were being tested, refined, strengthened. The very adversity that made you think nothing would grow was actually forcing those seeds to send their roots down deeper in search of water, creating a root system that would be strong enough to support the abundant harvest that was coming. And now the season has shifted. The drought is ending. The rain is coming. Not a light sprinkle that barely dampens the surface. Not a brief shower that provides temporary relief. I am sending torrential rains of blessing that will saturate the ground of your life so completely that everything you planted in faith is going to burst forth in abundance. The harvest that is coming is going to be so plentiful that you will need help bringing it all in. You are going to look at the abundance and marvel that it came from the same ground that looked so barren just weeks or months earlier. This harvest is not just about material provision, though that will be part of it. This harvest is about the fullness of everything I have promised you. Relationships that have been dormant are going to spring to life. Dreams that seemed dead are going to be resurrected with new vitality. Opportunities that you thought had passed you by are going to circle back around in forms you did not expect. Gifts and talents that have been buried under the weight of discouragement are going to break through the surface and flourish. Areas of your life that have been barren for years are suddenly going to become fruitful beyond anything you imagined possible. But here's what I need you to understand about harvest season. It requires different work than planting season. During the season of planting, you had to have faith to put seeds into ground that showed no evidence of being able to produce anything. You had to trust me enough to invest your time, your energy, your resources into something that existed only as potential. You had to persist through the drought when every visible indicator suggested that your efforts were futile. That season required one kind of faith and one kind of work. But harvest season requires a different kind of faith and a different kind of work. Harvest season requires you to be ready to receive. It requires you to prepare space in your life for the abundance that is coming. It requires you to make room in your schedule, in your home, in your relationships, in your heart for more than you have been carrying. It requires you to get your tools ready, to organize your resources, to call in help if you need it. Because when harvest comes in abundance, you cannot handle it with the same limited capacity you operated with during the drought. So many people miss their harvest because they are not prepared to receive it. They prayed for breakthrough. They believed for increase. They sowed seeds in faith. But when harvest season arrives, they are still living with a drought mentality. They are still operating with scarcity thinking. They are still making decisions based on lack instead of abundance. And because they are not prepared to receive what I am sending, they miss opportunities. They let blessings pass by. They fail to recognize open doors because those doors do not look like what they were expecting. Do not make that mistake. Do not let your mind stay stuck in the season you are leaving. Start thinking like someone who is entering a season of harvest. Start making space for more. Start believing for bigger. Start preparing practically for what you have been praying for spiritually. If you have been praying for financial breakthrough, open that savings account. Set up that budget. Plan how you are going to steward the increase wisely. If you have been praying for new relationships, make space in your schedule for new people. Be willing to invest time and energy into connections that do not exist yet but are coming. If you have been praying for career advancement, update your resume. Develop your skills. Position yourself to be ready when the opportunity presents itself. This is the partnership between my divine action and your faithful response. I am sending the rain. I am causing the growth. I am bringing the harvest. But you have to be ready to receive it, to gather it in, to steward it well. And the time to get ready is not after the harvest arrives. The time to get ready is now, in this moment when you can feel the shift happening, when you can sense in your spirit that something is changing, when you are hearing my voice speak to you through these words and tell you that your season of breakthrough has arrived. Let me tell you about the tests that come with harvest. During the drought, you were tested in your ability to trust me when you could not see any evidence that things would change. During harvest, you will be tested in your ability to remain humble when everyone can see the evidence of my blessing on your life. During the drought, you were tested in your willingness to keep sowing even when it seemed futile. During harvest, you will be tested in your willingness to keep giving even when you have abundance. During the drought, you learned dependence on me because you had no other option. During harvest, you will be tested in whether you will maintain that dependence when you have resources and options. The tests of harvest are subtle and dangerous because they come disguised as success. Pride can creep in so quietly that you do not notice it is taking root. You start thinking that the harvest came because of your wisdom instead of my faithfulness. You start attributing the breakthrough to your strategies instead of my grace. You start feeling superior to people who are still in their drought season, forgetting that you were there yourself not long ago. You start trusting in your resources instead of trusting in me. This is why I need you to guard your heart with diligence during this season of harvest. Remember where you came from. Remember who brought you through. Remember that every good gift comes from above, from the Father of lights. When people compliment you on your success, deflect the glory back to me. When opportunities multiply and resources increase, give generously so that your hands stay open and your heart stays tender. When you are tempted to feel self-sufficient, come back to that place of intimacy with me, where you remember that apart from me, you can do nothing of lasting value. Remember my people Israel. I brought them out of Egypt, led them through the wilderness, provided everything they needed. Before they entered the promised land, I warned them through Moses. When you eat and are satisfied, when your silver and gold increase, do not become proud. Do not forget that I gave you the ability to produce this wealth. But they forgot. In their season of harvest, they became proud and stopped seeking me. Their failure to remain humble during abundance led to their downfall. I tell you this not to frighten you, but to prepare you. You are entering a season of abundance. I want you to enjoy it fully, to walk in the blessing without guilt, but also walk in it wisely, with a heart that remains tender toward me, with a spirit that stays humble, with a life that continues to honor me in the harvest, just as faithfully as you sought me in the drought. This means that your priorities must not shift just because your circumstances have improved. When you had nothing, you sought my face desperately. When you were in crisis, you made time for prayer no matter how busy you were. When you were struggling, you clung to my word like it was your lifeline. Do not let abundance change that. Do not let success rob you of the intimacy with me that sustained you through the difficult season. Do not let the blessings I give you become a substitute for the relationship with me that is the source of all blessing. I want to walk through this harvest season with you just as intimately as I walked with you through the drought. I want to be your first thought in every moment and your constant companion throughout your journey. Not because you need me to fix something, but because you love me and you cherish our relationship. I want to hear about your victories and your joys, not just your problems and your prayers for help. I want to celebrate with you as you walk into everything I have prepared for you. Do not shut me out of the good times just because you do not have a crisis that requires my intervention. Let me tell you about the provision that is coming. I do not bless with crumbs. I do not give barely enough to get by. When I provide abundantly. I am not a miser who reluctantly gives you the minimum. I am a generous father who delights in giving good gifts to my children. My nature is abundance, not scarcity. My character is generosity, not stinginess. And when I open the windows of heaven to pour out blessing, I pour out so much that there will not be room enough to contain it all. This is how I operate. When I fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fish, I did not give them just enough to survive. I gave them so much that they were satisfied, and there were 12 baskets of leftovers. When I turned water into wine at the wedding in Cana, I did not produce cheap wine in small quantities. I produced the finest wine in such abundance that it surprised everyone. When I told Peter where to cast his nets after a night of catching nothing, the catch was so large that the nets began to break and the boats began to sink. This is my nature. This is how I bless. This is what you can expect when my hand moves in your life. So do not limit me with your small thinking. Do not try to figure out how I am going to do what I have promised. Do not look at your resources or lack of resources and determine what is possible. I am not constrained by your limitations. I am not restricted by your circumstances. I am able to do immeasurably more than all you could ask or think or imagine. I can open doors that no human could open. I can make connections that seem impossible from your perspective. I can bring resources from sources you have never considered. I can shift circumstances in ways that will leave you amazed. All I need from you is faith that believes I am who I say I am. Faith that trusts I will do what I have promised. Faith that receives what I am giving without arguing about whether you deserve it or qualify for it. Faith that says yes to the blessing, yes to the breakthrough, yes to the abundance, yes to everything I have prepared for your life. There is something about your family that I want to address. You have been carrying burdens for people you love. You have been watching them struggle, watching them suffer, watching them make choices that are leading them away from me and away from the life I designed for them. You have prayed for them. You have tried to help them. You have done everything you know to do, and yet their situation has not changed. This has been a source of pain for you that runs deep. What I need you to understand is that the breakthrough coming into your life is not just for you. When I bless you, the blessing overflows to everyone connected to you. When I open doors for you, opportunities become available to your family members. When I pour out provision on you, resources become available to help those you love. Your breakthrough is going to become a catalyst for breakthrough in the lives of people around you. But here is what you cannot do. You cannot force them to receive it. You cannot make them walk through the doors that open as a result of your obedience. You cannot require them to change just because you have changed. You can only be faithful in your own walk with me and trust that as you walk in obedience and blessing, it will create an atmosphere that makes it easier for them to find their way to me. Your testimony will speak louder than your words ever could. When they see the transformation in your life, when they witness the peace that replaces your anxiety, when they observe the provision that follows your obedience, when they notice the joy that has replaced your despair, it will raise questions in their hearts. It will challenge their assumptions about me. It will make them curious about what you have that they do not have. And in that curiosity, I will have an opportunity to reach them in ways that your words of persuasion never could. So be patient with them. Love them where they are. Pray for them consistently, but do not tie your breakthrough to their transformation. Do not make your willingness to receive what I am giving you conditional on whether they are ready to receive it too. Walk through your open doors, step into your harvest, embrace your breakthrough, and trust me to use your obedience as a tool to draw them toward the destiny I have for them. I am also going to heal you, not just your circumstances, not just your finances, not just your relationships. I am going to heal you, the wounds you carry from past betrayals, the scars from old rejections, the pain from disappointments that cut so deep you thought you would never recover, the shame from failures that have haunted you for years, the fear that has kept you playing small and hiding from your potential. All of it. I am bringing healing that goes to the deepest places in your soul, places you may have given up hope of ever being made whole again. This healing is part of your breakthrough, because you cannot walk fully into the new season I am opening for you while carrying the weight of unhealed wounds from old seasons. Those wounds will sabotage you. They will cause you to misinterpret people's motives. They will make you defensive when you need to be open. They will trigger reactions that are out of proportion to present circumstances because they are rooted in past pain. They will keep you bound to patterns of thinking and behaving that no longer serve you and are not aligned with who you are becoming. So I'm going to walk you through a healing process. This may require you to revisit some painful memories, not to dwell in them, but to allow me to reframe them, to show you where I was in moments when you thought you were abandoned, to give you perspective on situations that you have only seen through the lens of your hurt, to help you forgive people who hurt you, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve freedom, to release the bitterness that has been poisoning your soul and stealing your joy. This healing process is not always comfortable. There is a reason you have avoided dealing with some of these wounds for so long. It hurts to acknowledge pain. It is vulnerable to admit how deeply you were affected by things you wanted to pretend did not matter. It feels weak to confess that you still carry scars from things that happened years ago. But I am with you in this process. I will not take you into any memory or any emotion without my hand firmly holding yours. I will not expose any wound that I am not ready to heal. And I promise you that on the other side of this healing process, you will be lighter, freer, more whole than you have been in years. Receive this healing. Do not resist it because it is uncomfortable. Do not avoid it because you are afraid of feeling pain. Lean into it. Trust me to complete what I am starting in you, and know that this healing is preparing you to carry the weight of the blessing that is coming without it crushing you under the unresolved issues from your past. Now I want to speak to you about the power I am placing in your hands. During this season of breakthrough, you are going to discover spiritual authority that you have not walked in before. You are going to learn to speak to mountains and watch them move. You are going to lay hands on sick people and see them recover. You are going to speak truth into situations that seem impossible and watch my word accomplish what it was sent to accomplish. You are going to step into a dimension of faith where the supernatural becomes natural, where miracles become expected, where the impossible becomes routine. This power is not for show. It is not to make you feel important or to impress other people. This power is for service. It is for setting captives free. It is for healing the broken. It is for speaking life into dead situations. It is for demonstrating to a watching world that I am real, that I am active, that I am present, and that I move through ordinary people who are willing to believe me and obey me. But with this power comes responsibility. You will be accountable for how you use what I give you. You will be tested in whether you use it for selfish gain or for service to others. You will face temptations to compromise your integrity for faster results or broader influence. You will encounter people who will try to use you, to exploit your gifts for their own purposes, to pressure you into directions that are not from me. And in all of these tests, you will need to stay anchored to me. You will need to hear my voice clearly enough to distinguish it from all the other voices clamoring for your attention. You will need to know my character intimately enough to recognize when something being presented to you is not from me, even if it is being packaged in spiritual language. You will need to be rooted in my word deeply enough to test every spirit, every opportunity, every open door against the truth of Scripture. This is why the intimacy with me is more important than the breakthrough. This is why knowing me is more valuable than anything I could give you. Because if you know me, if you have spent time with me, if you have studied my word and learned my ways, you will be able to navigate this season of increase without losing your way. You will be able to discern what is from me and what is from the enemy disguised as an angel of light. You will be able to recognize counterfeit opportunities that would derail you from my best for your life. So as you step into this season of breakthrough, make a commitment right now that you will protect your relationship with me above all else. Make it non-negotiable. Make it your highest priority. Guard your time with me jealously. Do not let anyone or anything steal that time. Say no to good opportunities if they would interfere with your intimacy with me. Structure your life in a way that puts me first, not because you have to earn my blessing through religious activity, but because you value our relationship and you recognize that everything else in your life flows from that connection with me. Let me tell you what I see when I look at your future. I see you walking in a level of peace that you have not known before. I see you making decisions with confidence because you know my voice and you trust my leading. I see you surrounded by people who sharpen you, challenge you, encourage you, and celebrate you. I see you using your gifts and talents in ways that bring you joy and bring glory to my name. I see you making an impact that extends far beyond your own life into the lives of people you will never meet this side of eternity. I see you walking in health, in wholeness, in purpose, in abundance. I see you finishing strong, completing the race I have set before you, and hearing me say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." This is not fantasy. This is not wishful thinking. This is my vision for your life. This is what I am working to accomplish in you and through you. Every obstacle I am tearing down is creating space for this vision to manifest. Every door I am opening is leading you one step closer to this reality. Every provision I am releasing is equipping you to walk fully into this destiny. So receive this vision. Let it sink deep into your heart. Let it replace the limited thinking that has kept you playing small. Let it crowd out the fear that has kept you hiding from your potential. Let it inspire you to take risks you have been afraid to take, to say yes to opportunities you would have passed by, to step into rooms you would have avoided, to attempt things you thought were beyond your capacity. You are capable of far more than you realize, not because you are inherently powerful, but because my power is at work within you. Not because you have it all figured out, but because I will give you wisdom for every decision you need to make. Not because you are fearless, but because courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward in spite of it. Not because you have unlimited resources, but because I am your source, and my supply never runs dry. There is a covenant between us that I want you to remember. This covenant is not like human agreements that can be broken or renegotiated when circumstances change. This covenant is eternal, unbreakable, sealed with the blood of my Son Jesus. When I make a promise to you, I am binding myself to keep that promise regardless of what happens. I cannot lie. I cannot change my mind. I cannot be unfaithful. It is not in my nature to promise something and then fail to deliver. Heaven and earth will pass away before a single word I have spoken to you falls to the ground unfulfilled. This covenant means that every promise in my word that applies to my children applies to you personally. You are not hoping that maybe I will bless you if you are good enough. You are standing on covenant promises that guarantee my blessing because of who I am, not because of who you are. You are not wondering if perhaps I might open doors for you. You are confident that I will open doors because I have promised to make a way for you. You are not crossing your fingers and hoping things might work out. You are standing on the solid ground of covenant guarantees that cannot be shaken by circumstances or broken by human failure. This is the foundation of your faith. You are not believing in positive thinking or wishful hoping or cosmic forces. You are believing in a covenant-keeping God who has bound himself by his own word to fulfill every promise he has made to you. And because this covenant is not based on your performance but on my character, you can rest in the absolute certainty that what I have spoken will come to pass. Not because you earned it, not because you deserve it, but because I said it, and I cannot lie. So when doubts come and whisper that maybe this breakthrough will not happen for you, remember the covenant. When circumstances seem to contradict what I have promised, remember the covenant. When the wait feels long and you are tempted to think I have forgotten you, remember the covenant. I am bound by my own word to fulfill every promise I have made. Your job is not to make it happen. Your job is to believe it will happen because I said it would, and then to position yourself to receive it when it manifests. Let me tell you about my faithfulness. There has never been a time in all of human history when I failed to keep a promise. There has never been a person who trusted me completely and was ultimately disappointed. There has never been a situation that was too difficult for me to handle. There has never been an obstacle too large for me to remove. There has never been a door too tightly locked for me to open. My track record is perfect. Not because the people who trusted me were perfect, but because I am faithful even when they are faithless. Look at Abraham. I promised him a son when he was too old to have children and his wife was barren. For 25 years, he waited for that promise to manifest. 25 years of watching his body grow older, watching his wife age past childbearing years, watching every natural possibility of having a son disappear. But I did not fail him. At the exact right time, in the exact right way, I fulfilled my promise. Isaac was born, and through Isaac came a lineage that changed the world. The wait was long, but my promise was faithful. Look at Joseph. I gave him dreams about ruling and leading when he was just a teenager. And then everything in his life seemed to contradict those dreams. His brothers betrayed him. He was sold into slavery. He was falsely accused. He was thrown into prison. For years, it looked like those dreams were never going to come true. But I did not fail him. Every setback was actually setting him up for the breakthrough. Every closed door was protecting him from premature advancement that would have destroyed him. And when the time was right, I elevated him in a single day from prisoner to prime minister. The wait was long and painful, but my promise was faithful. Look at David. I anointed him to be king when he was still a shepherd boy. And then for years, he ran for his life from the current king who wanted to kill him. He hid in caves. He lived as an outlaw. He experienced betrayals and disappointments. There were many moments when it seemed like he would never make it to the throne I had promised him. But I did not fail him. Every trial was preparing him to be the king I knew he needed to be. Every battle was training him for the warfare he would face as the leader of my people. And in my perfect timing, he became king and established a dynasty that continues to this day. The wait was long and dangerous, but my promise was faithful. This is who I am. This is how I operate. I make promises and I keep them. The timing may not match your expectations. The path may not look like what you anticipated. The process may be more difficult than you hoped, but the outcome is certain because I am faithful. What I have spoken concerning your life will come to pass. Not one word will fall to the ground. Not one promise will be forgotten. Not one commitment will be abandoned. So when you are in the middle of the wait, and everything seems to contradict what I told you, remember my track record. Remember Abraham. Remember Joseph. Remember David. Remember every person throughout history who trusted me and found that my faithfulness never fails. You are not the exception. You are not the one person I will fail. You are my beloved child, and I will keep every promise I have made to you just as faithfully as I kept my promises to all who came before you. This breakthrough that is coming is not uncertain. It is guaranteed. Not because I owe you anything, not because you have earned it, but because I promised it, and I am faithful to keep my promises. So receive it with confidence. Expect it with certainty. Prepare for it with diligence. And watch as I demonstrate once again that my word is true, my promises are sure, and my faithfulness endures forever. Now I want to speak to you about the warfare that intensifies when breakthrough is imminent. The enemy knows that your season is shifting. He can sense that doors are opening. He is aware that obstacles are being removed, and this makes him desperate. Desperate enemies are dangerous enemies. They do not fight fair. They do not follow rules. They throw everything they have at you in a last-ditch effort to stop you from walking into what I have prepared. So do not be surprised if attacks increase right before your breakthrough manifests. Do not be shocked if relationships suddenly become strained. Do not be caught off guard if financial pressures intensify. Do not be thrown off balance if health issues flare up. Do not be discouraged if doubts and fears seem stronger than they have been in months. These are not signs that you are moving backwards. These are signs that you are right on the verge of breaking through, and the enemy is throwing everything he has at you to try to make you quit before you cross the finish line. Stand firm. Do not retreat now. Do not surrender territory you have gained through months and years of faithful endurance. Do not let the intensity of the attack convince you that breakthrough is not coming. The exact opposite is true. The intensity of the attack is confirmation that breakthrough is closer than you think. The enemy would not be fighting this hard if you were not this close to winning. Put on your spiritual armor. Take up the shield of faith. Wield the sword of the Spirit, which is my word. Stand your ground. Resist the enemy, and he will flee from you. Do not engage in arguments with lying voices. Do not try to reason with deceptive thoughts. Do not waste your energy fighting battles that are not yours to fight. Simply stand. Stand on my promises. Stand on my faithfulness. Stand on the covenant that cannot be broken. And watch as I fight for you and win the victory on your behalf. This is the season when everything changes. The obstacles that have stood for years are crashing down. Doors that have been locked for so long are suddenly thrown open. The promises that seemed delayed are being fulfilled. And the faith that was tested is finally being rewarded. Walk through this season with confidence. Walk through it with gratitude. Walk through it with wisdom. Walk through it with humility. Walk through it with generosity. Walk through it with courage. Walk through it with me. I am tearing down every obstacle. I am opening every door. I am making a way where there was no way. I am doing a new thing, and it is springing up before your eyes. Do you not perceive it? I am making rivers in the desert and streams in the wasteland. I am turning your mourning into dancing, your ashes into beauty, your despair into praise. This is your moment. This is your season. This is your breakthrough. Step into it with faith. Embrace it with joy. Steward it with excellence. And watch as I do more through you and for you and in you than you ever imagined possible. Amen. If this message touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear these words. Type Amen in the comments to receive this blessing. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss a word that God has for you. Let these words settle deep into your spirit and watch as breakthrough manifests in every area of your life. Remember, the obstacles are coming down not because of your perfection, but because of my promise. The doors are opening not because you earned it, but because I decreed it. Walk through them with confidence, knowing that I am with you every step of the way. Share this message with someone who has been waiting for their breakthrough. Let them know that their season is shifting, their obstacles are falling, and their doors are opening. This is a word for such a time as this, and I do not want anyone to miss what I am saying. Be blessed, be encouraged, and step boldly into everything I have prepared for you.